Why did AbbVie rise more than 7% after the quarterly earnings report? Hi everyone! In this video, we will talk about the company called AbbVie, examine why its stock surged after the quarterly earnings report, and look at the outlook for 2025. AbbVie was formed in 2013 when healthcare giant Abbott Laboratories spun off its branded biopharma business. AbbVie has remained focused on branded drugs in immunology, oncology, neuroscience, and eye care. Its flagship product, Humira, treats autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and Crohn's disease. AbbVie also offers Skyrizi and Rinvoq for immunological disorders, as well as cancer treatments such as Imbruvica and Venclexta. The company has underperformed the S&P 500 over the past 12 months. The company is currently available with a 3.57% starting dividend yield, which is lower than usual. The price per earnings ratio is 16.7 compared to the 5-year average of 10.8, making it equal to the sector average. Based on these factors, the company appears to be slightly overvalued. The company currently pays an annual dividend of $6.56 in quarterly installments. The next dividend payment will be on February 14th, and everyone who purchased the company's shares by January 15th is eligible to receive it. The most recent dividend increase was 5.8%, which exceeds my personal minimum requirement of 4%. The 5-year average was 9%, while the 20-year average was 14%. AbbVie was formed in 2013 when Abbott Labs spun off its branded biopharma business. The S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrats Index gives AbbVie credit for Abbott's long history of paying growing dividends, so the company has been continuously paying and increasing its dividends for 52 years. The earnings and free cash flow ratio may be slightly higher than ideal, but expectations suggest that the payout percentage will be reduced this year. Earnings and free cash flow per share have been declining for a few years, but this year might mark a turning point. The percentage figures might provide a clearer view of how revenues have changed. The company has not repurchased more of its own shares than it has issued since 2021. Return on equity has consistently been above the expected 25% since 2020, while the return on invested capital has shown a much more volatile pattern. The operating margin in 2024 was only 21%, instead of the expected minimum of 25%, but the free cash flow margin has been consistently above 20% over the past 10 years. The debt level seems quite high, but this is not surprising in the healthcare sector, especially in such an economic environment that characterized the 2020s or is still present today. The company offers a 3.57% starting dividend yield at the current price, with the most recent dividend increase being 5.8%. The credit rating is A-, which is considered good. Therefore, the company currently seems slightly overvalued, but it could still be considered a recommended investment due to its dividend, as there are no signs that the dividend payments are at serious risk. Disclaimer: this video does not constitute investment advice. Do not make decisions based solely on the content of this video. Always do your own research to determine whether a company aligns with your investment strategy and portfolio. AbbVie's stock surged over 7% following its quarterly earnings report due to several key factors: earnings and revenue beat. In the fourth quarter, AbbVie reported adjusted earnings per share of $2.16, slightly surpassing analysts' expectations of $2.12. The company's net revenue reached $15.1 billion, exceeding the forecasted $14.8 billion. Strong performance of new immunology drugs. Despite a significant decline in Humira's revenue by nearly 50% due to increased biosimilar competition, AbbVie's newer immunology drugs, Skyrizi and Rinvoq, demonstrated substantial growth. Skyrizi's global sales increased by 58% and Rinvoq's by 46%, effectively offsetting Humira's decline. AbbVie provided an upbeat forecast, anticipating a 2025 adjusted earnings per share between $12.02 and $12.32, surpassing analysts' average estimate of $12.05. The company also raised its long-term sales outlook for Skyrizi and Rinvoq, now expecting combined sales of over $31 billion by 2027, up from the previous estimate of $27 billion. If Trump keeps his promises, several potential effects can be expected on large, global pharmaceutical companies like AbbVie. Regulatory and tax policy changes. During his previous term, Trump frequently emphasized the importance of deregulation and tax cuts, which could create a more favorable business environment in the short term. This could improve companies' financial performance, as less bureaucracy and lower taxes would allow for more investment in research and development. Drug prices and healthcare policy. At the same time, some of Trump's promises may include measures to reduce drug prices, which could put direct pressure on the revenues of large pharmaceutical companies. If stricter pricing regulations are implemented, it could lower AbbVie's profits, particularly for products that generate significant revenue from high prices. Trade and foreign policy measures. Trump's foreign policy and trade policies, such as protectionist measures and new trade agreements, could affect exports and imports. Some measures could be advantageous for U.S. companies in the short term, but over the long term, changes in global markets could create uncertainty. Overall, if Trump keeps his promises, AbbVie and similar companies would face mixed effects. On one hand, a more favorable business environment and lower taxes could be beneficial, while on the other hand, measures to reduce drug prices could put pressure on profits. The outcome will depend on how extensively and in what way the political measures are implemented, as well as how the company adapts to the new regulatory environment. Thanks for tuning in to today's deep dive on AbbVie and how it stacks up in the world of investment. I hope you found this analysis insightful as you continue your journey toward financial freedom. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Let's keep building this community of like-minded investors. Until next time, take care and keep working toward your financial goals.